Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is Saturday, January the 24th, 2022, and I'm back again for the summer moon. I'm working today on the bear track block, and it's going to be fun and exciting. It's a fun block to do, and I hope that you'll join me on this sew along. So right now, I'm just going page for page in my book. I'm not following their guidelines whatsoever as far as the way that they have theirs laid out, because in the end, it's all going to come out the same. So with that being said, I've got some of my blocks already ready to go, and they're laid out in the order that I need them to be. To streamline this video today, I've went ahead and made a couple of the blocks, but I wanted to show you a couple things, so I'll just lay my book out here. I wanted to make sure that you can't see any of the measurements, and you can't, so we're good there. So on this, you're going to make your HST. I like to use my Omni Grid for my marking tool because it gives me the true measurements of what I need to do here. So all I'm going to do is make my line, and I'm just using a pencil because this will disappear when I cut this line. Set all this aside, and you're going to lay your fabrics just like this. Really easy. And you're going to sew up one side and come back down the other, and then we'll trim this one in. And then just flip the block and come straight down the other side. This is the easiest way that I found to do these. And you'll see me doing a lot with my scissors today. I'm trying to stay ahead of all the strings, so when the quilt's together, I won't have a lot of trimming to do. So I've got my block, and I'm just going to give this just a smidge of a finger pressing. And there's two ways you can do the block. You can just measure it with your ruler, or you can just line it up with one of the extra little bonus blocks that you have laying here. Like I said, I'm just going to give it a little dab of heat, just enough to make it lay flat for what I need it to do. I've seen a couple people do a couple different ways when you're doing these blocks, so I'm just going to show you this way. We all know how to use the ruler. Basically, you're going to take your block to make sure that you're down in the corner, and what I'm seeing them do is just checking for the size. I'm a wee little tiny bit off. So what you're going to do is just trim your dog ear on this end, trim your dog ear over here. This block is now true to size for what I need it to be. So I'm going to lay it in where I want it, and I'm going to do the same thing here. You're going to match your corner and just lay it in, and you're going to trim off your dog ear. And I have a wee little bit too much fabric there in this little tiny dog ear. You didn't have to pull out a ruler, and you have everything you need right there. So you're going to spin the block, and you've got them laid out in the order that you're going to be sewing them. The easiest way is just, I'm going straight down the columns, and I'm going to flip the block and just sew it straight in. And I'll just keep doing this all the way down. Just a quick little bit of chain piecing to get this set in motion to go a little bit faster. This block does take a little bit of time, but it's well worth the end result. And if you're laying them out ahead and you're just doing them this way, you're surely not going to mess up your block layout. Pull this back just a little bit. And we'll just keep these going. And stay with your 1/4 inch all the way down. And I'll never give you the measurements of these as far as the cutting directions because it's not my pattern, but they're really easy to follow the way the book's laid out. If you do everything that you're told to do, with your cutting measurements, everything's going to come together really smooth for you. And it tells you which way to press. And I'm going to the right on some and to the left on some. If my blocks match, it's going one way. If they don't match, they're going another. Let me move these over. That way I'm getting these in just the way I want them to be. That way when we join the next set of blocks, everything's lined up. I'm going to this side this time. And then your blocks will marry quite well and come together really nice. So I'm trying to get my line up just the way it is here. So I've got everything here. I'm going to come in the bottom here. I'm going to get bottom here. That way my blocks are going to kind of match a little bit. I want to finger press just a little bit more there. This one's going to come there, and this one's going to come to the next. And you're going to check your layout before you sew them all in together and make sure that they're the way you want them. So for this one, I would want these colors to be lined up just like this. So we're going to lay them out and just lay them flat as you can get them. And as you can see, your blocks are coming together really nice. So now all I'm going to do is turn these because I want these colors to kind of blend in so it's easier to watch which way you're doing them. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. And I'm just going to chain piece this the same as I did before so they don't get out of line. And you can choose to pin if you'd like. These, just to add them in, if you're staying with your 1/4 inch, you shouldn't have any trouble at all. Along the way with this, start with your small blocks and work your way up. This will be my larger block, and in the end I'll show you the last 2 for this. Well, the first 2 that I had done for this color. So when I pick these up, I'm just going to finger press them. That way they're going one way, and then I'll finger press them back the next. I went that way, now you're going to come to the left. And before you sew anything, you just lay them out, make sure everything's going in the right direction. You never know when things could get messed up. I've got some strings. Like I told you, I don't want to trim a whole lot at the end, so I'll just finger press them and trim anywhere I see I need now. And then these are going to go that way. So all I'm going to do is flip the block and get my seams lined up. Line this one up and come straight in. Open it up. You can press here or you can finger press it. It's going to be a little bit askew on the end, and that's okay because we've got to square this block yet. So I'm going to take this one and come straight down on top. And I'm going to line this up. And if you've got your seams pressed left to right, you're not going to have a lot of bulk right there. And these I'm pressing up. I'm just going to trim these couple little inches off. And I'll give it a little quick press, because when we square it, I need to be able to square it exactly the way it needs to be. Then I'll come down on this one and do the same thing. Line it up. Line this one up, and I just pinch them right there so they don't move. If you're a little bit worried, go ahead and pin. And I'll just feel for if it wiggles or moves. Then I'll stop and bring it back in. Air sewing today at its best. I just lost my thread. So I'll drop the needle and rethread. Put it under and we're ready to go again. Make sure these didn't move. And this does happen sometimes. Make sure it's laid out right because I moved it. Goes up and down. And sorry I wasn't talking there. I just wanted to make sure I get these lined up. And I know my size I need to trim these down to. So I'll start over here. That way I'm getting them trimmed down as straight as possible for what we need. I can't give you the measurements. If you don't square them up, you'll have a mess when you're trying to work it. One final check. Just a little smidge. This one's done. Now I'll do this one, and we'll be ready to go. Final check, and we're in. So I've got those done. Take my little bit of scraps, put them in my trash bin, and now we've got the block ready to lay out. I've already joined what I needed to here for the center, and this will come together nice, but right now I'm just going to flip this piece over, and that's your center. And we're going to line that up. Flip it out. Then we're going to do this one the same way. And we're going to have a wee little bit of trimming at the top, but that's okay. That is okay. Because things do get askew just a little bit. Lay this out. Bring my ruler over, and this little bit that's right here on the bottom, I will go ahead and straighten that up. There's no way I can get rid of it without a straight line there. So now I'm going to take this section and bring it in. So you have section 1, 2, and 3. So I am going to work with this one and make sure that I have it lined up just where I need it to be. I have a string there that will drive me batty. Since I'm working with white fabric, when I long arm this, I don't want to be fighting with strings hanging everywhere. So I've made sure that I'm working this so that I'll be able to get it in without a lot of string cutting in the end. Every block I'm going to sit down before I ever sew the final blocks in and get those trimmed out. Then you're just going to finger press this up and push it down. You can iron it, or you can go ahead and join the next piece. I've got some strings there, so they're coming off, and I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to fold it up, see where my line is, get it in, and then I'll pinch it there so that I'm working it in. And this block is done. So with it being done, let me show you the others. I've got these over here. They are finished and squared. Now this bear paw, I'm telling you, it is stinking adorable. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate your time as I work the Bear Track block. I've got the first set done. Now I've got 2 more sets to do. So with all of that being said, I'll see you back next Saturday for the next block. And I believe it's going to be Birds in the Air. How cool is that? That'll be a fun one you won't want to miss. See you later. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you back then.